1 year ago, Trump imposed heavy tariffs on almost everything the United States imports from the rest of the world. He promised a new era for America, vowing to bring factories back to America, reduce deficit, create jobs, and lessen dependence on foreign goods. But 1 year later, the reality looks very different. Tariff rates in the United States have surged to their highest levels in decades. The average effective tariff rate now sits at around 10%, a sharp rise from just 2.5% at the start of last year. According to the Tax Foundation, over the past year, U.S. households paid roughly $1,000 more just to buy the same goods they were purchasing before. Several of those tariffs have already been struck down by the Supreme Court, ruling that they went beyond presidential authority. But the president remains committed to his tariff strategy. So now the question is, have these tariffs actually worked, or are Americans simply paying the price? To answer that, we need to look at where things stand today, 1 year after Trump's Liberation Day tariffs. Let's start with the tariff revenue that the U.S. government collected. The U.S. government collected more than $260 billion in customs duties in 2025 alone, followed by another $55 billion in early 2026. That's a massive increase compared to previous years. After a ruling by the Supreme Court, a large portion of those tariffs has been struck down. The government could now be required to refund as much as $175 billion to businesses that originally paid those duties. So, tariffs remain successful in raising the government revenue, but the burden of these tariffs isn't actually falling on foreign countries, despite the political narrative. In reality, most of the cost is being paid by U.S. importers and consumers. The next big promise of Trump behind tariffs was to reduce America's trade deficit. But a year later, that has not happened. Despite tariffs being at their highest levels in decades, the U.S. trade imbalance remained largely intact. The overall U.S. goods trade deficit actually increased in 2025 compared to 2024. It increased from about $1.20 trillion in 2024 to around $1.23 trillion in 2025. However, the U.S. goods trade deficit with China fell to $202 billion in 2025, down from $295 billion in 2024. This shows that the deficit decreased by about 30% compared to the previous year. On the surface, this makes it clear that tariffs did work, as the U.S. became less dependent on Chinese imports. So while tariffs may have reduced the deficit with China, they ultimately failed to achieve their primary goal, lowering America's overall trade deficit. While imposing tariffs, the biggest promise Trump made was to bring manufacturing jobs back to America. It did not happen either. In fact, the American economy lost 92,000 jobs in February 2026, pushing the unemployment rate up to 4.4%. Later revisions showed an even larger loss of 133,000 jobs, which marks the biggest monthly decline since 2020. U.S. manufacturing employment also fell by approximately 108,000 jobs in 2025. The main reasons of this drop include higher tariff costs and tough global competition. However, tariffs aren't the only reason for the slow job market and decline in manufacturing employment. Advances in AI are also making it easier for companies to run with fewer workers. But the added costs and uncertainty from the tariffs gave employers even less reason to hire and expand their businesses. One of the biggest myths about tariffs is that foreign countries pay for them. The administration kept saying foreign countries would pay the tariffs. That turned out to be largely untrue. But in reality, tariffs are paid by American importers. And those importers pass the cost on to businesses and consumers. Research from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York estimates that nearly 90% of the total burden from tariffs ultimately falls on U.S. businesses and consumers, while foreign exporters absorb only a small share. Surveys revealed that around 34% of major U.S. companies are now passing over half of their tariff-related costs to consumers. Another survey showed that about half of tariff-affected businesses raised their prices and passed those additional costs straight on to customers. So, consumers ended up paying the price of those tariffs through higher costs. Another major promise behind tariffs was that they would help bring prices down for American consumers. But in reality, the opposite happened. Instead of easing inflation, tariffs added upward pressure on prices across multiple sectors. While overall inflation has cooled since its four-decade peak in 2022, it still remains above the Federal Reserve target of 2%. The Federal Reserve's preferred measure, PCE inflation, also reached 3% year-over-year by December 2025, well above the Fed's 2% target. According to the Tax Foundation, American households paid about $1,000 more in 2025 just to buy the same goods they were already buying before the tariffs. Considering the price pressure on households, the administration removed tariffs on more than 237 food categories in November. Even after these changes, the Tax Foundation estimates that households may still face an extra $600 per year. One of the primary targets of Trump's tariffs was China. He raised tariffs on Chinese goods by 145 percentage points. By June, imports from China into the United States had reduced by almost half compared to last year and were at levels not seen since the 2009 financial crisis. China responded through imposing their own tariffs amounting to 125% on U.S. goods, cutting oil imports from the U.S. and stopping purchases of American soybeans. As a result, the trade war between the U.S. and China quickly escalated, with both sides imposing stronger tariffs against each other. Finally, both countries reached an agreement in South Korea towards the end of 2025. China agreed to stop shipping fentanyl, lift retaliatory tariffs on U.S. farm products, and resume buying American soybeans. In return, the U.S. agreed to lower certain tariff rates. As a result, the U.S. goods trade deficit with China dropped 30% in 2025, falling to $202 billion, the lowest level since the early 2000s. But the analysts point out that much of the trade simply shifted routes. Chinese goods now often move through Vietnam, Mexico, and other countries before reaching the U.S. In other words, the decoupling between the two largest economies exists on paper but not always in practice. Looking at the impact, the U.S. appears to have suffered more. Tariffs raised costs for American consumers, contributed to inflation, and failed to bring back manufacturing jobs, while China found ways to redirect trade to its other trading partners. Overall, Trump's tariffs did not fully work as promised. They did reduce some imports from China and raised tariff revenue, but they also raised costs for U.S. consumers, added to inflation, and did not bring back manufacturing jobs. In the end, the trade gap stayed large, and much of the impact was just a shift in how goods moved, not a real change in trade.